Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, YAHAWAHSHI, Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders that I learned the truth from, the men at GMS, and the brethren with the like-minded doctrine. I really don't got no scriptures, but I just want to show you what Esau Edom, what he used, in his movies, um, predictive programming and basically prophesying in his movies, and he showed you a lot of things in films that are really the truth, that people in today, like things that happen in real life, he depicts it in movies, and a lot of people don't see it for what it really is. Even to like I seen a couple, I seen a movie, I made a video on it. It was a um, it was it wasn't too good. The movie wasn't too good, but it told you truth. It basically told you what the demolition set up, how like these federal buildings, for example, the towers and and the World Trade Center Tower 7, like they're all like um, wired to self demolition. So basically, that's how they constructed to be demolished. So they wired up like that, got wired to be detonated. So a lot of these movies, they show you a lot of these movies that Esau Edom has show you what he really is, his real intentions, and real intentions is, and how things are really created. And also, I seen in a lot of these zombie movies, they in these virus outbreak movies, they show you and they come out and tell you that it was a government experiment gone, array. So that's what Esau Edom does, and a lot of people they believe the fiction that media, which is a part of sorcery also, whatever's in media, the masses of people, they believe that. But I got this doctor here. He says a monkey head transplant, and basically he gonna go into how we trans transplanted monkeys' heads, and then I got a movie that I'm gonna show um that relates to this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get this movie started, this video started. I'm gonna I don't have any scriptures, but not off mine. But yeah, this I'm gonna play this one, and I got another movie that I want clips of a movie I want to play, and this is on Freedom of Information Act disclaimer. It's like your Fair Use Act disclaimer. I'm not profiting. This is for educational purposes only. So yeah, here's the video.
Was responding in this way. One of the concepts that came forward in doing this operation, we're now talking about a brain transplant, or more correctly, a total body transplant for tetraplegic patients. And the idea here was you would take the diseased and crippled body of the quadriplegic patient, you'd remove it and replace it with that of a young, healthy, spinal cord injured patient who was brain dead. So we felt, well, the hypothermia work is there. I mean, that's really the important thing. First process is you put the catheters or tubes in both monkeys. Then the next step is to be able to transfer these catheters from one animal, let's say body B, to head A. We now have separated the head from the body, which has been removed. And then, after you've done the transfer, you got to turn around
5G is here, but because straight
and shorten these things, then you've got to figure out how to get rid of these catheters and sew the vessels together.
Well, if the vessels are sewed together, I think then the principal problem becomes one of rejection, tissue rejection.
And also you were able to put the spine together. See, one of the things that everybody forgets is you've got to work with the spine and the spinal cord. Now, it doesn't make any difference whether we sew the spinal cord together or not. It just is not going to work. And so you got to do a lot of delicate work down there in the spinal column with the spinal cord, with its vasculature, so that when you finally bring the head over, you just slide it down and you just put in a few screws. We very often drain the body that is not being used. We drain the blood from that into the other animals, a transfusion. There should be another catheter in the esophagus of the body, which is going to sustain the head, and you could use that for feeding purposes.
Well, I think we'll hang in for about another 16 minutes.
You realize that the monkey was not specifically trained to demonstrate intellectual capability. But as soon as it's been decided for this animal to be awakened, and I can tell you that because we left the cranial nerves, it could hear, it could smell, it could taste, it would eat, and it would follow you around the room. The tubes that were placed in the mouth, you could see them chewing on them. And you also see it was a very unhappy monkey, but I remember how we felt, because what we had transferred here was, yes, another great number of organs, but we had, in my judgment, transferred the soul, the living principle of this animal, and of course could be done in human.
Okay, he said at the end, he said basically they transferred the soul of the head, into the other monkey's head. I mean the other monkey's body. They basically transferred souls. So basically it's the same concept. It's not the same thing. I'm about to bring this movie. I know probably a lot of brothers already seen this movie. It's called Get Out, but it's a different concept. They got instead of transferring heads, transplanting heads, they transplanting brains. So I'm gonna get this clip out. I'm gonna be right back. Bear with me. Okay, this is the clip, from the movie Get Out. You and basically it's gonna show you how what this is what they're planning on doing. This is what they was doing in the movie. So that's the concept. You see, they had the guy, the so-called black guy in a chair. They about to have him on the other bed, the medical bed, and basically they was going to replace his brain with the so-called white guy's brain. Like just like in that video, that doctor, I didn't get his name. I forgot what his name was, but basically he was saying they transferred the souls. So basically it's the same concept, and I'm gonna give you the understanding. I got another clip so you can get the understanding of it. It's like get bear with me. Okay, this is the other clip. I'm gonna show it.
Oh, hey, hang on. Chris, I want to introduce you to some friends. This is David and Marcia Wincott, Ronald and Celia Jeffries, Hiroki Tanaka, and Jessica and Friedrich Walter.
Too many names to remember, but hi.
Do you find that being African American has more advantage or disadvantage in the modern world? Wow.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey! Yo, my man. They were asking me about the African American experience. Maybe you could take this one.
Oh. Well, I find that the African American experience for me has been, for the most part, very good. Although, I find it difficult to go into detail as I haven't had much desire to leave the house in a while.
We've become such homebodies.
Yes, but even when you go into the city, I've just had no interest. The chores have become my sanctuary. Get out.
Sorry, man.
Okay.
Get out! Yo! Yo! Chill, man. Get out! Chill, man!
See in that clip there, he was telling the guy to get out, right? Because that's what happened to him. What you seen in the first clip, he got transplanted because that's what they were doing in the movie. They was transplanting like these Edomites here, these so-called white people. They was basically getting these so-called black people, and they was transplanting their brains and putting it to the so-called black people's body. So when he got that flash of light, it did something, and he snapped out, and some of his old consciousness came back into remembrance or something of the sort. His consciousness of who he was came back, but basically that's what they was doing. They did to that guy right there. So the guy was telling him to get out when he was bleeding from the nose. That flash of light from the cell phone when he took the picture snapped whatever consciousness that he had from his previous life. That real consciousness came back. Just like that doctor said, you transfer the soul from one monkey to the other one. So basically, that's the same concept. When they swap the brains out, they transfer the soul, from the Edomites to the so-called to this guy here. So I got another video that I want to play, and basically it tells the whole thing. All right, this is the other clip. It's a abducting black people scene. So basically, that's what they was doing. They was abducting. They was using. I think there's because they show you in the movie too that the chick that he was dating, he found a box, and she had a lot of boyfriends, and they was all black, so-called black guys, man. And they was doing. That's what she was doing. She was dating them, and then she'd take them to, I guess, her parents' house, and this where all this transplanting or of this replacement of the brain and the bodies the so-called black people with the so-called white people, this is where it takes place with their friends. You know, there was rich, so-called wealthy white folks, and they was getting so-called black people in and taking over their bodies basically with and replacing them with their brains. So I'm gonna play this clip.
Hello, Mr. Williams. Rod Williams. From TSA?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know all TSA issues should be brought up with their authorizing officer.
Yes, ma'am, but this is not TSA business.
Okay, don't call me ma'am. Look like we're not gonna get along. How can I help you? Rod Williams from the TSA.
All right, here it is. My boy Chris has been missing for 2 days.
Your son is missing.
Oh, no. Not my son. My friend, 26. His name is Chris Washington. He left on Friday with his girlfriend, Rose Armitage. She's white.
All right, go on.
Look, Chris is supposed to come back on Sunday, right? And I've been watching his dog see it.
That's it.
Cute, right? So Chris sent this to me from his girlfriend's parents' house. See, that's Andre Hayworth. Okay, somebody we knew from back in the day. Apparently, he's been missing for 6 months in some affluent suburb.
You don't look so missing to me.
That's because we found him, right? But Chris says he's acting real different.
Different how?
This dude is from Brooklyn, huh? He didn't dress like this.
Ryan used to dress like this.
Plus, he's married to a white woman twice his age.
And that would explain the clothes. All right. Oh, Lord. Rod Williams.
Oh, okay.
TSA.
I know. Oh, no. Okay, look, I'm trying to work towards this. Look, what I'm about to tell you gonna sound crazy. You ready?
All right. Try me.
I believe they've been abducting black people, brainwashing them, making them work for them as sex slaves and shit. Ooh, sorry about the shit. Sorry.
But see there in that clip, right? That's the whole thing. That's what they was doing. They was abducting so-called black people, and these wealthy so-called white people was swapping out their brains and putting it in their bodies. So basically, it's like he says, a form of brainwashing, and that's basically what the so-called these Edomites are doing to you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, you trusting in oppression. They got you brainwashed instead of trusting in the our power, YAHAWAHSHI. They trusting in oppression, you know. So basically, they're in a form of brainwash. And I think I do got one scripture I want to get in mind, so like you bear with me. All right, I do have a verse here, probably a few other verses. This is Isaiah the 30th chapter and the 12th verse. You know, because our people, they do what? They trust in Esau, Edom. You know, they believe in and trust on him instead of relying on YAHAWAHSHI. It says, wherefore thus said the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression, perverseness, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in the high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. So that's why the scriptures say Yahweh Shai is coming back as a thief in the night. You know, that's why it says it's gonna be in an instant. You know, like he's gonna come back. You know, it's going. I think it says in a twinkling of an eye. If that's in the word scripture, I gotta look that up. Slakia. But yeah, I don't know if that's included, but I heard that this is probably a worldly thing, maybe. But you know, he's gonna come as a thief in the night, man. You know, and this iniquity, which is this great wrath, like Esau Edom, it's gonna come upon him instantly, man. You know, because it's basically Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is controlling everything. Even Esau Edom, like it says, he controlled he made everything for his sake, even the wicked, for the day of evil. Roughly paraphrasing, but I also want to get this out too on the Hosea. No, I don't. Well, basically, that's what it is. You know, like I was saying, our people are brainwashed. So basically, this is somewhat in a form of brainwashing too, because they trust in oppression. They trust in Esau, Edom, and basically they destroyed, like the scripture said on Hosea the 4th chapter in the 6th verse. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You know, in the beginning, in the fear YAHAWAHSHI is the beginning of knowledge, man. That's the Psalms. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. So the people have no fear of the Lord, man. No have no fear of Yahweh Shem Shai. That's why people are destroyed. You know, they trust in Esau Edom in this system. And basically, you know, this is what he's telling you. You know, saying Esau Edom is behind all this wickedness, man. Like who's conducting all this experiments like that? Cause like Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. You know, that's Esau Edom. He runs the world, man. He passed these policies and come up with these procedures and how things need to be ran in society, in the world, for that matter. You know, he's running the world, man. But I ain't mean for this video to be this long. But yeah, basically like that. I just found that interesting when they had that medical procedure in this movie. It go hand in hand, you know, because basically that's basically they telling you the truth in the movies. Cause like they do that in a lot of these movies, man. You find truth, they speak the truth. Like even with 9/11, you know, with the how these viruses come about, like they say it's a pandemic in these movies, and they basically said like it was a government experiment. The government created this virus, and it got out of control or got out of hand. The military is behind it, and everything like that. So they tell you the truth in these movies. And if you know they got um this organization called Gain of Function Research, where that's all they do, and that's where they trying to say this thing that's happening now, where you got to get a part of this pandemic that's happening now. This where it was originated from under that, and you know of course in China. But I didn't want to speak too much on it, you know. But yeah, that's I think that's all I got for this video here. And I hope it was edifying. And I want to say, call Holayam Layahawa, Ba'ashem Yahweh Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Shalom till next time, Yahweh Ratazah, which means Lord willing, and Wah Abba Babal.